When it comes to EVE Online, every player wants to know the most effective tactic available. You want to know the meta. The meta controls everything. It determines what will and will not happen. Knowing the meta will alter your views, make you question your reality. It might even make you laugh. And now, you're part of it. You're watching The Meta Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is The Meta Show. It is Friday. Today is Friday. I know it's not Saturday. I know you guys are freaking out because today is Friday, July the 23rd, not Saturday, July the 24th. But it doesn't matter because The Meta Show is whenever the fuck we say it is, and it's tonight.
Damn straight.
It's
damn
time.
Straight.
Hi, boss. Welcome to
How
the
you
show.
doing? How you doing? We got some wild times tonight, don't we? Wild times tomorrow. Friday, man. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Have a drink, guys. It's late night. If you're in Euro time zone, it's like 2 a.m. If you're in UTC, it's midnight. If you're in England, it's like 1. It's 8 o'clock Friday night for all of us in the United States, at least on the East Coast. Freedom time. It's 7 o'clock for our dear Matani in the capital of Goonswarm Federation, Madison, Wisconsin. Have a libation. Join us. We're going to have some fun tonight. We had fun Saturday. You guys think we had fun Saturday?
Oh, man.
We're going to have fun tonight.
It's going to be wild. So I want to just give people the lay of the land. So first of all, before we dive into Herfing Blurfs or me demanding my cookies from Elf Boy, I know you have those fudge stripes in your fucking hollow tree, Elf Boy. I demand fudge stripes. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping, because obviously we don't have our firesides. This is only everybody who's in SAPI. Please cover your little ears. You're not going to believe anything I say anyway.
Earmuffs.
Ooh, Matani man bad.
Earmuffs.
But we need to be eyes on from probably 1830 onwards tomorrow. Piggles and Elf Boy and Winstraken and whoever else. They're all going to be given town halls at the same time, which is going to be 1930 Eve, and it could be an opportunity for a coordinated attack. Maybe they will announce that they have found their balls, or maybe they will announce that they have agreed to find their balls later. We don't know, but we need to be on guard and on deck. I'm not saying it's like State of the Union, oh my God, whatever, because we need to be prepared to man the walls in case these people find their balls, and then we will cut their balls off, which is what I hope happens. That's my dream for the big announcement is that they decide to 6 VDT, right? That's sort of where we are. If you want to crack open your hymnals,
some test history right there.
Exactly. If you want to crack open your hymnals of Empires of Eve Volume 2 and turn it to the lovely chapter where Andrew Groen talks about how 6 VDT was some sort of amazing last stand for Test Alliance and proved something about their culture or whatever, when in reality it was just an atrocity, a war crime that we committed against them, which they deserved because they failed to plan, failed to lead, and picked a blood war with Goonswarm. But hope springs eternal. Maybe they will do another turbo dive into us. So guys, 1830-ish tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier. We don't know. We just have to see what the puppies are going to do. Yeah, that's it as far as pre-announcements and my demand for cookies.
So I have to say, I think it's pretty funny. This is just me talking. After the debacle, now I didn't consider it a debacle, but many of you considered it a debacle, of CCP doing their big announcement reveal for the Alliance tournament last week, where 24 hours in advance they put up a video and didn't say anything to anybody and just let people speculate as to what it was going to be. Like 2 days after they did that. And it blew up and people got mad, really upset. These guys ping out, all of them ping out a big announcement for Saturday, July the 25th, a week early.
So good.
Knowing that there is almost nothing they can say tomorrow that will live up to the hype that they have given themselves over the last week. Hype that we will help them hype tonight.
Oh yeah, I
Because
mean
why
we're
not?
all looking forward to it. I mean, the black hand is ready, guys. Right? Like and if you haven't spoken to your handler yet, you are hopefully already aware
I said
of
20.
this project. But we don't just have one PUBG town hall to listen to tomorrow. We have like 3 or 4 simultaneously to potentially live stream, at least internally. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that for everybody. Some of them might live stream their town halls, but for some reason, I was expecting, considering pro God legend himself, a god and a legend, said that there was going to be an all caps big announcement. And I was expecting it was going to be one PAPI speech, because pro god legend is usually the guy who is giving the ums and the ahs. And I thought we were going to get another goons are to be exterminated, because the last time pro god legend, or maybe these big speeches kind of run together. But after a certain point, you expect, oh, they're going to do a big announcement. So I expect to see Piggles up there doing his thing, talking about exterminating goons. But now we have 3 or more fucking simultaneous town halls to listen to. So we're just going to be juggling PUBG talking points.
I can't wait.
I like our agents real time are going to be like, okay, so Gobbins is telling Horde this thing and Piggles is telling Test that thing, and whatever else, and we have to try to interpolate the data. Or maybe it's all a surprise attack. Maybe they are rusing us and they are telling their people to get ready on a bunch of different town halls, and then they will PAPI assemble and a surprise attack will come into 1DQ1, the final battle at last, to storm the walls of Constantinople in space and bring this to a war-ending conclusion.
War-ending conclusion.
War-ending conclusion.
War-ending
Well, that's
conclusion.
what, to be fair, that is what Norris said. That is what FRT said, a war-ending conclusion. Now, Test didn't ping it out like that. Horde didn't ping it out like that. They had like some sort of we're gonna some sort of a positive thing, not quite so much. I think war ending conclusion was really only from the Fraternity side of the aisle, but on the other hand, Fraternity's been YZ9 and just fought stuff today. And won.
Hey, yeah,
big fight. So
I have to laugh though.
Do you?
Well, first of all,
so many reasons.
So,
there's
a lot of reasons.
We got?
First of all, you said interpolate. I appreciate that big word, but I was under the impression that the correct word in there is amortized. And amortized. That was amortized is the word of the week. We'll get to that later when we talk about the PAPI Snowden leaks from this week. But the other thing that makes me laugh is I guarantee you tomorrow, whatever they say, July 24th. If I said the 25th before, I misspoke. July 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they say, I guarantee you we will have put more thought into the Meta Show tonight, making fun of what they're going to say than they've said. Because this has been
funny because it's true.
This has been their MO. I have never seen a group that is so willing to claim that these are big announcements, have them go over like a wet fart, and then all of a sudden come back and say, well, that wasn't really an Alliance update. That was just a town hall. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many do you guys think we're going to see tomorrow as a town hall? Are we going to say
it's the town hall of town halls. I mean, it sounds like we're not just going to get, maybe the big town hall is, hey guys, I heard you like town halls and announcements about announcements, so we're going to give you like 4 of them simultaneously. So you can all choose. It's a choose your own adventure, choose your own announcement. You can get your announcement from Elf Boy. You can get your announcement from Piggles. You can get your announcement from Winstraken. We finally, somebody a year into this thing offhand said Winstraken the other day, and so we're just going with that. I have fought Winstraken over this goddamn galaxy for, it feels like literally a decade now, and I cannot believe that my playground insult, Elf Boy flinging, like out of all the nonsense I spewed, I cannot imagine. I never thought of it. Somebody, Winstraken. Why didn't I think about that a fucking decade ago?
I'm just waiting now for all the bads and our dear friends over at Toxic and Stations to go and say, oh my God, Batani called him Winstraken.
Oh,
that's
no.
so horrible. They're making fun of him. I guess they're going to try to come up with some way that it's about his looks or something so that they can call us toxic.
One of the things, and I can't claim credit for this was a K-color crack, and it's not just like it's harsh. So like, be careful if you're a SAPI person, like just brace yourselves, because I'm going to say something that is true and will probably sound particularly mean because it's true. is, yeah, well, PAPI, particularly Test, is really not into any insults about people's real life appearances, as long as it, besides their skin color. Right? Because let's not forget that all of this shit that has happened came out right after
Manny.
PAPI Snowden leaked this Vespiary thing where you have Manfred Sidious, who's essentially, I mean, we don't even bother like screaming insults about this because Manny is just like a walking like ism, right? Like he hits every branch on the racism tree all the way down repeatedly. This is just known. He is a piece of shit as a person. So if you are in PAPI, I hope that you get mad about me insulting somebody who deserves to be insulting. Congratulations, I don't care. But these motherfuckers come out in this Vespiary document has like, oh, well, before we plan our war against the goon, we need to make certain that we have hardened our infrastructure because the goon has Russian and Chinese alliance members and allies.
Absolutely.
And therefore Russians and, again, this is all Manfred Sidious wrote this in a document. We are going there. And so, yeah, Test is really offended about, and everybody in PAPI is really offended about me calling Elf Boy because he's hoarding the fudge stripes. Bring us the fudge stripes. But while they're doing it, they're like, oh, the Matani's bad because of Elf Boy. Let's like 500 comments, 500 comments of butt-blasted nerds going, Matani Man bad because he called Goblet Elf Boy on the Meta Show, which is, cry more. But meanwhile, it's bad to call him Elf Boy, but Manny, good guy. Let's follow Manny's war plan because, we love following war plans written by notorious racists who fuck up and lose super capital fleets, which is Manfred Sidious's specialty. I really shouldn't be talking shit about Manny. I'm gonna hit this and quit. One last little bit of herf talking shit. I shouldn't be mean to Manny. He is stepped in every racism scandal that we've basically had in EVE Online. He has been trying to murder Goon Swarm for a very, very long time. He is a narcissistic, toxic piece of garbage. But he is very useful. If you look at almost everything that Manfred Sidious has done in his entire EVE career, being the toxic piece of shit that he is, he fucked up the SOV bill and let us kill PL and NC.'s cap fleet at BR5. He apparently was the first person to write a plan for this fuckfest of a war, which is
right here.
Exactly. And probably M2. Like we don't know, but Manfred Sidious has handed us more wins on a platter while trying to ruin us. So it's difficult. Let's move on. That was the last bit of nuance there.
All right. So obviously, guys, we had a lot of news this week. One of the reasons why we're doing the Meta Show on Friday night, because tomorrow at 4:00, when we normally be doing the Meta Show, I'm going to be sitting in a German pub with Merkelchen and Anominate getting drunk, hanging out with my friends in Cleveland because I haven't seen them in a year and a half and I wanted to go hang out, and we decided to do this as part of our Rampage Incorporated stream, which I hope you all will stick around after the Meta Show tonight. Join us over on Rampage Incorporated. We're going to raid directly from there over. We are giving away 50 billion ISK worth of skins in a half an hour on the show, so stick around with us. But before we get there, we're going to talk about all the news that happened this week. We have
a lot.
PAPI Snowden leaks. We have Fraternity's Alliance update. We have CCP's big announcements today. We've got a ton of stuff, and we're going to do that. And then, because I didn't let him on Saturday, and he almost killed me, Fountain Frank will be here with his top 10 list of things you can expect to hear in the PAPI update tomorrow. All right? So here we go. Top story of the night, the PAPI Snowden leaks. All right, so last week when you guys were here, you saw us talk about this cache of leaks, in addition to the Trash Talk Tuesday stuff that we got from Brother Bob and the Original Sinners. We got a whole cache of stuff from a guy on Reddit named PAPI Snowden. Nobody knows who he is. Whoever he is, he's doing yeoman's work.
Matterall says it's me, by the way. Like, this is just
Okay,
key point here.
right.
Matterall has officially accused me of being PAPI Snowden. I broadcast that happened a couple of days ago. So just FYI, if you are a Crying in Stations listener, for like all 5 people that still pay attention to Matterall, hi, I'm PAPI Snowden. Matterall called it. The rest of the galaxy thinks it's something else, but Matterall is on the case.
Of course.
All right, please continue.
So, all right, so PAPI Snowden, who apparently is Matani, okay,
You can't make
gave
this
us
shit up.
a second cache of leaks on Monday. These leaks were a little bit different. First off, we had the Vespiary plan, which was literally the book that Pappy wrote to start the war. And I'm going to walk you guys through the stuff that is in there because, as Mitten said, there's some crazy shit. And now this was written again by Manfred Sidious of BTEC-R fame, of lots of other bad things that he's done fame.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna throw this up on the screen so you guys can see what it is, some of the takeaways from this original Vespiary plan that they put up with, that this is how they started this is the document that they used to start the war. So the SAPI original war plan leaked. It was written by Manny. First of all, he has my favorite line in the entire thing. We need an amortized list of all ship hulls and equipment. Itemized, please. Come on, guys. I don't want to correct your grammar or anything. But,
no wonder their finances are so bad.
right? Like, I guess, hey, it's a smart word, but we'll use that. They flat out say in the beginning, we will have virtually over half of the game's nullsec entities. They knew from the beginning that they were going to create the world's largest blue donut to fight us, ostensibly because we were too big. Okay. This is the quote that Mittens put out there that I thought this was the thing that drew my eyes, that drew a lot of people's eyes. Our enemy do have Russian and Asian players. That means there is a good chance our comms will be DDoSed. What the absolute fuck is that?
Manny doing a racism. It's Manny's. Well, okay, there's a couple of different things that Manfred Sidious does in this game. He posts bad. He tees up PanFam supercap fleets for the Imperium to destroy, and he does racisms. Okay, cool. There's Manny.
I mean, I gotta say, like, listen, beyond the fact Russians and Asians are all botters, Russians and Asians all do the DDoS stuff, all that other kind of crap that we hear all the time. First of all, it's basic, the most base, crass, stupid shit you could say, because 1, we don't know who does the DDoSes, and 2, you got the biggest Asian alliance in the game on your fucking side.
And Russian allies too, right?
And
like
Russian
the Imperium
allies
doesn't
too.
have the monopoly on Russians. Remember, Pappy, I thought, has Final Reunion, kind of a Legion of Death, kind of a lot of Russians there. We don't shit on Manny. Like, I want to make sure here when we're pointing fingers and being appropriately outraged at this, it is hard for me to muster the outrage about Manny other than pointing and laughing at him like I am, because this is known. Right, like everybody who has had to interact with Manfred Sidious, even momentarily, can pretty rapidly find out or hear from someone or just put 2 and 2 together of there's been leaks even during this war of him saying stuff that is way beyond just this, right? If you're offended by this particular thing, which you probably should be, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's Manny. And that's important too, because remember, this is the planning document. This shows who the original like leaders and thinkers of this were. And they were like, yeah, having Manfred Sidious, that guy, he's on to something. He's got a good track record against the Imperium. He seems like he's got good moral character. Let's loop him into our highest planning levels, at the very highest level. And maybe he can help us with his racisms and his amortizations.
All right. For those of you who don't know, a DDoS is a distributed denial of service attack. It is when a bunch of hacked computers send a bunch of data all to one network to try to crash it. We have seen that in EVE. It has happened to the EVE servers. It has happened to comms for different groups over the years. It is also super illegal, but that doesn't stop some people from doing it. But the idea that certain ethnicities or nationalities have some kind of a monopoly on hackers is just base racism, and it has no place in EVE. So we're going to skip back over that. We're going to go back to the rest of the leaks, because the rest of the leaks, there's some other good stuff in there. So one of the other things he says that they need to do is we need to identify people that we can help whip up enthusiasm, not only within our community, but the Eve community. I don't think you did that. I'm just saying. That didn't happen.
PAPI can't meme. PAPI can't meme. It's been more than a year now. And, you know, I feel a little bit more comfortable just making this assertion because obviously I ain't too scared about Piggles tomorrow. But, you know, look at this fucking war. 13 months, just massive cultural victories, one after the other. PAPI can't meme. PAPI could never meme. PAPI can't post. They're mad at the Imperium because we have lots of bad posters, but we also have some of the good posters. Not me. I am not a good poster.
I can tell you flat out, there is no way, if you look back on the arc of this war, that anybody can argue with a straight face that the Imperium has not completely dominated the propaganda and the hearts and minds winning of this game over the last year. Whether it's this show, whether it's Seriously, whether it's Rampage, whether it's a bunch of other stuff, whether it's all of our guys, we've got a ton of new streamers coming up. Saint Nick and MC Wolf and a bunch of different people every night are out there playing the game. They're ambassadors of Goons Forum. They're ambassadors of the Imperium. Pando is one of the top rated shows on Eve. Oh, I mean, if you look at Twitch, you look at the top people that are streaming, most of them are Imperium. There's maybe 2 that are not of the groups that are affiliated.
Yeah, and people are attracted to a righteous cause. And SAPI, you're
And
the bad
mine
guys.
won,
We're the fucking good guys. The reason why your memes suck and the reason why nobody cool likes you, nobody cool is going like, ooh, yay, SAPI. The reason it's such a shit show is congratulations, you're the bad guys. This is like the movie 300, except that the good guys don't all get killed at the end because you couldn't even get to Thermopylae. You just sort of pissed and shit yourselves before you got to the hot gates, and we're like, well, I guess we should probably put some clothes on because of all these togos and shields. Anyway, that one places, but you know, what the hell? That's why you can't post. That's why you lose the cultural stuff. It's good.
Correct.
Suck less next time.
Like I said, when your top streamer is playing every game but Eve, that kind of tells you.
It's like Ron USMC or crying. I don't
where
even
the
know who it is
propaganda
right now. Like,
Well, he's online. He's right now. He's playing New World. He's got 33 viewers. Anyway, moving on. More leaks from PAPI Snowden. We've got their original plan. I have to say, the beginning of this war saw us announcing that they were going to end the NIP before they announced that they were going to end the NIP. The NIP slip, as we have called it.
mm-hmm.
They had a whole plan of escalations and how they were going to do it that Manny put together. First of things, we were going to demand goons remove structures from legacy space while ending the NIP. Or maybe we don't. But my favorite part was they would attack our stuff. Goons would show up to disband them. Test would stay out of it. We would shoot Brave, and then they would proclaim this as an escalation of activities and then get Brave to shoot us. Guys, Test, the second or third largest group, I think they're the third or fourth largest group in the game, was going to use Brave newbies as a meat shield to start this war. They didn't have even the balls to attack us directly after the NIP. They were going to use Brave as their excuse to start the war. I mean, it reminds me of Germany dressing up a bunch of their guys in Polish uniforms and attacking a radio station and saying, oh, the Polish attacked us. We have to invade Poland. They were going to do that to poor Brave.
Gulf of Tonkin incident. There's so many situations of like false flags.
That is your Big Red Boat World War II reference for the show, just FYI.
I got one thing here, and we can either do it right now because it's about how this proves that Test was planning on
go ahead, please,
backstabbing us,
I think
we can go to
that was the point I was going to go into.
The other thing is that we've got more stuff here, right? Like the next point that Briska is going to be bringing up is where Manny talks about how their main strategy has got to be hell dunker blue balls and all this other sort of stuff. And the document is a fascinating historical thing, I believe, because this is a document that was long before the NIP slip, which was supposed to be July 5th. The leaker claimed also, though the leaker didn't provide any proof of this, that the original date of the plan was supposed to be July 19th. But this is the significant thing from an Imperium perspective, right? Like, fuck the SAPI guys. You guys can be butt blast about this. Like, just talking to our guys. remember how I've been saying since before this whole thing began that we were talking to Test, and that we were talking about us versus PanFam, right? That we're gonna potentially do the Imperial Legacy thing. This war was gonna happen. We are very much in Scotch mode because this is something that deserves a little.
The guys
bit of
were
smug.
asking. I thought I would let you talk.
Absolutely. And so here's the thing. For more than a year now, I have been telling the fucking truth. The SAPI guys don't want to hear it because they're not interested in the truth. They're interested in Mittani Man bad and whatever their damage is. The wizard were backstabbed. We were backstabbed by these traitorous, hypocritical, inept pieces of shit. And the Vespiary document proves that Test Alliance, not only do they fuck up everything that they touch, but they're traitors. They're backstabbers. They cannot be relied upon to keep their word about anything. And now for the SAPI people, you can tune in if you'd like here. Ooh, Mittani Man bad. Well, the reason why you guys are losing this thing, one of the reasons why you are so fucked, even though I don't think you necessarily realized how fucked you are yet, is because of moves that Test planned, right? So here's this bad plan by an idiot racist Manny that started the whole thing. And then they set things off. In the document, it makes it very clear that they wanted us to attack them, that they wanted to provoke us into breaking the treaty, that they were going to be shitty to the people that they had signed a deal with in hopes of getting us to break the treaty and then have us attack them. And then PAPI was going to play defense. They actually have fought this entire war in reverse. And so if you're a member of PanFam or whatever, if you're one of like Elf Boy's followers, you're like, well, gee, everything is great here. T5ZI, I don't know whether T5ZI was a Villy plan or not, but T5ZI looks and smells like it was a Villy idea. I'm very curious. Hopefully there will be more. I know people are more interested in like the FC leaks. I personally am more interested in shit like the second leak where we get the history, like the proof, the smoke. It's a fucking smoking gun. It proves what I have been saying for more than a year, that they planned months in advance to backstab the Imperium in favor of PanFam because they are shit traitors led by shit traitor idiots, and we will never let them forget that, because in EVE Online, at least at the adults in the room level, treaties are a big fucking deal. All right, so that's a smoking gun. We were right.
The bottom line, and I want to reiterate what you just said. Okay, we have said, and this has been an axiom for the Imperium: we are the best friends you'll ever have. We are the worst enemies you'll ever have. Mm-hmm. And we have never broken a treaty obligation, not once. And the idea that the guys, especially when they have so many people who used to be in the Imperium on their side, that they wouldn't know this, that Villy wouldn't understand this, having been a member of Goon Swarm in the past, it never ceases to amaze me. And the second thing I want to say is, guys, we've been doing this war update shows since July of 2020. We have been accused by the Bads of coming here and lying to you every week, telling you things that are not true, telling you things that spin you up that are fake. And what have we proven over and over and over again? And what have these PAPI Snowden leaks proven to you guys just in the last 2 weeks? We don't need to lie to you. We don't need to spin. We don't need to make things up. The reality is, these guys are their own worst enemies. And all we need to do is tell you what they say in their own words. And that damns them any harder, way harder than we could ever try, even if we were trying to make up the worst stuff we possibly could. Okay? So people want to call this show Fox News. I don't have a problem with that, because you know what? They're number one. But the one thing that's different here is we tell you guys the facts. We tell you how it is, why it is, what we think it's going to be. We're not always right about the last one, but we're not here blowing smoke up your ass. That's why you keep coming back. And that's why we have 1,000 people watching this show a day before our usual time, outside of our normal time zone. Thank you guys for joining us. Now, moving on. More leaks. In addition to the Vespiary document, we had another example of what happens when you take a group of players that don't really like each other and are really only in it because they hate the other guys more, and you put them on the same team. And this time, we have Pittsburgh and Alpha Star Pilot I guess I got the slides in the wrong order. Pittsburgh and Alpha Star Pilot fighting with each other. Okay. This is May 20th. It's 5 days after they lose their Hacks fleet. And this was the last major form up that we saw from the Bads, at least until this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They brought 500 people into 3 Tech D. Pittsburgh's like, we're wasting 500 people's time on a single grid, and Alpha Star Pilot is jerking off on how great Elo is. And Alpha's like, you were in the meeting. You didn't volunteer to form NC and Loki's. Probably would have said yes. So what are you bitching about? You're talking about different plans and you don't want to enact them. And then Pittsburgh's like, I told you we had this plan at the start of the week when we decided to feed on the gate. I was cooking dinner for my family. How dare he was cooking dinner for his family, guys. How dare you expect him to come to a meeting? God. I mean, come on. What kind of assholes demand people to show up when they're cooking? All right. They're on a single grid. I said we need 3 times in the last week. We have the T3Cs. We can run them every night. I didn't know I need to spoon feed you, ASP. Then he goes, I'm not needing you to spoon feed me. I need you to talk in our meetings. And then Pittsburgh just nopes out with, I've talked to the 2 people who've been here the whole war, which is kind of funny because he's noped out for like the last 2 months. But I guess that was because of this. I'll go make dinner during a coalition meeting and I'll pass you the note. And I'm just going to talk to Headliner, Cobbins, and Vince because they're the only ones that really know anything. So that's like, I just have to laugh because we told you guys in the beginning, there was dissension in the ranks. You get this many chiefs in one room, everybody's egos, everybody's going to want to be fighting with each other. Everybody's got a better idea of what to do. You got Piggles out there saying, guys, I know exactly what to do. Just do what I tell you and we'll win this war in a minute. Because that's his MO. It's just the typical drama that we told you was going to happen. And damn to PAPI Snowden, praise be upon him, whoever he is. I think we all know who it is.
Me,
somebody in NC Dot.
Me.
It's not you. It's somebody in NC Dot.
Matterall doesn't lie. Sorry, it's a dumb joke.
I'm not saying he is lying.
That.
I'm just saying he says a lot of things that he doesn't know are accurate. But that happens. You know, I do that too. Everybody makes mistakes. I think he's made a mistake. Anyway, the point is, we've been telling you guys this from the beginning, and the other guys that like to pretend, oh, we're a big happy family, we're a big happy PAPI family, everybody's together, we're all on the same team. No, they're not. They barely like each other. They just like us less. And now they're invested, and they got a sunken cost fallacy where they can't afford to stop fighting us, because if they do, then we win the war. And the one thing they hate more than goons being good at Eve is me and Mittens shoving it in their face every Saturday. They fucking hate that.
You know, one of the things that I really don't understand is, I just want to point out, right, just this is for word to the wise, because there might be some people who are in SAPI that have now seen the fact that we were not lying and that their leaders are idiots. And, you know, if you're like a SAPI dude and you're loyal to your corp and whatever, I think at this point it's mostly the dead enders who are left. But while we're talking all this mad shit about Test and how bad their leadership is, and now we're seeing some of the leaks of these main non-Test PAPI FCs fighting amongst themselves and having drama and infighting, I just want to remind everybody, just a little thing here is, T5ZI is in a fucking Test flagged Keepstar. They are all trusting Test Alliance. Please ignore and living in the Tower of Legends right next to the Forge of Heroes.
Matani brings up a very good point. Given how often these guys have backstabbed everybody else, if you're not in Test and you've got Titans and Supers in that Keepstar, you got to wonder if you're going to log in one day and not be able to get them out. And then just wait as Test offers to sell you. Well, we'll buy your Keepstar for pennies on the dollar. We'll buy all the stuff in your Keepstar for pennies on the dollar.
The biggest, I love This is like the puppies are always like, why don't you attack T5? Like, I love the Tower of Legends. It shits out almost as much value for the Imperium as Manfred Sidious being a racist fuck up shits out value for the Imperium. T5ZI Keepstar is my special friend. I want that baby to stick around there for as long as possible. After the absolute last structure of the puppies has died in Delve, we will pave over the T5ZI keep, and then and only then we will plant the first Imperial fuck palace there. But until that time, it is they're camping on the edge of an active volcano, and they're like, gosh, that lava shooting up out of that volcano, isn't that pretty? Let's go play some volleyball. Let's hang out and look over the lip of that. Oh, that lava shooting in the air that's made of angry goons and go fuck yourself rage. That's gonna, oh, I'm sure it'll hit somebody else right next to 1DQ1. I love it. Don't That's change. Great. Stay and test keep stars, please.
All right. So moving on. Thank you, PAPI Snowden. That was some great leaks. We appreciated that. It was very fun. The next thing we saw today, and is going to be we're going to go to the NullSec Power Hour. We're going to talk about Fraternity did an Alliance update. You want to show the world how to do an Alliance update? You do what Norals did. And we're going to show you here in a minute. So we're going to go to the NullSec Power Hour. Fraternity's update, I liked it a lot for a lot of reasons. Because number one, they said nice things about us. So of course I'm going to like that. But the second thing that they did was they talked about the war. Then they talked about something else, and then they talked about one other thing, and then they stopped, and it was over, and it was fast. It was a quick thing. It wasn't 70,000 pages. It wasn't a bunch of ums. It was quick. So I'm going to run you guys through because we're running out of time. I mean, we're probably going to go a little bit late, I think, but we're running out of time. I want to make sure we get this to our friends over at Rampage pretty quick. But they did a lot of stuff on their thing. So here we're going to go through it real quick. So Fraternity's War Update. This was on July 20th. That was Tuesday. They talked about how the 1DQ constellation and its combination of jammers and jumpers and supers has stood for 90 days. To give the devil his due, the Mittani has cultivated a group of diehard loyalists. They've kept their numbers up, 900 to 1,300. They don't care about, or we understand, member burnout. There's no such thing as member burnout in the Imperium. Our guys are ready. We like to do this. You know,
he's got sympathy for the devil. That warms my cold black heart. It's good.
So he goes through. He said, we, the Alliance leaders, thought we understood the nature of the player base, so we launched World War B, but this tireless swarm of maniacal bees is somewhat unexpected. That's great. They tried this attack. They tried that attack. They swapped this. They swapped that. They were propaganda slap fights. The goons spent 2 months refining their defensive strategy. They gave their members a sense of satisfaction and pride. And in certain time zones, they started outnumbering SAPI. On the other hand, since SAPI is unable to use capitals and facing imbalanced game mechanics, fleet numbers gradually increased and the overall mood became frustrated. SAPI Command started talking about the concept of long-term containment, going after alts and high sec, setting up Rorqual locust fleets, all this other kind of stuff. This campaign, this is the best part. This campaign did not achieve the intended result. Goons have been using NPC Delve and 1DQ staging points, hitting SAPI production, including Querious Mountain and Imperium bases. They've killed around 20 Rorquals in 2 months. There are 2 paths ahead of us. We either prepare long-term entertainment for our members and maintain the containment of Delve, meaning SAPI must have some internal mutual resets to create content. Norals, thank you for acknowledging that Blue Donut is a thing, and maybe you should fight each other instead of trying to go after us all the time. And the next thing he says, this is pretty key. Or we can use a new method to take Delve regardless of cost. Yes, let's highlight that. We can use a new method to take Delve regardless of cost. Now let me ask you this, Mittani, because I think you're a pretty smart guy.
I try.
What do you think are the chances that SAPI is going to be willing to try a different strategy that doesn't take cost into consideration?
Hope springs eternal, right? Like, and historically speaking, there is a potential here. And I like here is the scenario in which we get what we want tomorrow, where we actually get like a big ass fight. In the past, again, because Test Alliance is led by utter incompetence and always has been led by utter incompetence, in the Fountain War, when shit went sideways, they did the 6 VDT thing where they told us that we had 2 days to prepare and they were going to do a final battle with everything. Of course, they were on defense. And then these same geniuses, after announcing this, hadn't scouted their moons. And so we towered everything and they had no places to hide. And so everything that they had died because Test Alliance is incompetent and fucks up literally everything that they touch. So our hope really is that, you know, ProGod gets up there and just is like, fuck it. And because, you know, he doesn't give a shit about test line. Well, this is the most important things to keep in mind. If you're in SAPI and you're looking at ProGod, you're looking at Villy, you're looking at Manny, these guys, ProGod, Villy, and Manny have all been other alliance leaders or other alliance block level FCs. They went to test because test sucks and that they can be the big fish in the small pond there. So our hope, this is good for the Imperium. We want this. We want them to do a 6 VDT. Our best case scenario is that because Villy, ProGod, Manny, Suis, all these other shitheads doesn't give a flying fuck about Dreaded or whatever is left of Test Alliance, please ignore, that they would be perfectly willing to essentially drive that car into a tree and ideally into a wood chipper powered by us. And then, you know, they'll just go on to another alliance. Like they'll you know, PanFam will pick them up, or, you know, they'll land somewhere that wants incompetent fuck up FCs that ruin everything for everyone. But that's how we get there, right? We get there through extreme, unpredictable hubris, stupidity, desperation, whatever. But that is how we would get there. I don't see a new genius method. I haven't seen, you know, I want our guys to be ready for something and ideally for a turbo feed, but we haven't seen op pings. We've seen town hall pings. We've seen different town hall pings. We cannot rest easy. We assume nothing, but it's possible that maybe if I make fun of them, this is another thing. Like I'm trying to, like one of the reasons why I'm being so mean to these guys is one, most importantly, they deserve it. Genuinely, they deserve me being mean to them because they have done shitty things and done bad things to the video game.
We are here to exterminate you.
Exactly. And then in addition to that, I want them to fucking fight. If they can Matani Man dad enough, ooh, maybe Matani Man's so bad, we should undock and find some fucking balls instead of just rotting in an infinite bucket of endless pubby stupidity and failure. You're stinking delve up, guys. We live next door to you. We can smell the death on you all day, every day as you do your standing fleeks. It's gross over there. You guys need both some house cleaning and some fucking leadership.
Just a bit. But I mean, you know, here's the thing. Here's what I'm worried about. You know what? The number one thing I'm worried about? I'm worried about if these guys finally find their balls and decide they're going to jump supers or they're going to gate supers or going to gate titans or carriers or whatever they want to do into 1DQ, that the line members are going to be there and they're going to be like, I remember you telling us to jump into M2. I don't want to do this.
I hope they do.
And they don't.
Hope they do. Oh my God.
Can you imagine? I mean, I can't imagine that there's going to be anybody, you know, when they hear, all right, everybody align to the gate, that they're going to be like, oh, we're going to do this now and be excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, there's only two realities tomorrow, right? There's tomorrow at 1930 Eve, there is going to be a fork in the multiverse tree or whatever you want to say. And in one universe, SAPI does some sort of military action as a result of these town halls. Like they get people together and then they say some words and then they get in fleets and they do something. That's one universe. The other universe is PAPI does literally anything other than engage in military action. Because, I mean, look, there's always some dead enders and fuck sticks that are...
Can they withstand that? If they don't fight tomorrow, are their members just going to walk away?
I mean, we're gonna, like, you know, this is hard to predict, guys. Like, this is, if I just had like a Matani answer from my hindbrain, I could be like, well, this is what I think is going to happen. I don't have that. It is extraordinarily difficult to predict people who only have bad options, right? Like, the best model that I can find of what I think is probably happening over in the Tower of Legends is actually what Darkshine's fanficked about. I don't know if you guys, I've been trying to catch up, like, because, you know, it was mentioned on last week's Meta Show that Darkshine's has been doing these vaguely erotic fanfics, and I missed the first couple because I was traveling. So I got back and I sort of got back into the Darkshine's expanded universe, and I was reading his amortization post, and he talks about how what actually looks like what seems to be happening, which is, you know, would anybody trust Pro God Legend with a big announcement? Well, Pro God Legend, big announcement, all this, they're probably just trying to figure out something to do with each other. And Vince is probably yelling at them. And like, one of the things that I love about the FRT town halls is that if you can get a good enough native language Chinese translator to translate the things, you can see Norris is smart. Norris does not pull punches. Like, unlike the Gobbins is, unlike Elf Boy and Piggles and these other fucking liars. And, you know, they lie about little things. I want you guys to know, just a little point of advice here in life is, if you find somebody who is willing to lie about the little stuff, about like fudging battle reports a little or whatever, and they just casually do that, that's just a red flag. Like, don't date people like that. Avoid doing business with people like that. You don't see that with Norris. You don't see the Elf Boy, Piggles, Villy, headliner, excuse factory shit with Norris. Norris is like, yeah, so PAPI tried this shit. And I understand, because like FRT just wants to kill AOM, whatever. They've got their own thing. But he is the only person that I've seen from a leadership level in PAPI that has written updates that are actually describing the chessboard as both, you know, their leadership and we in the Imperium see it. Like, he's saying, we tried this, it didn't work. We tried that, it didn't work. Here are our only options. Like, he is not trying to spin that. But conveniently, because he's doing it in Chinese, you know, the dumb fucks.
It's very hard.
Yeah, exactly.
For anybody to see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a critical point that Mittens brings up, because I feel like one of the things that I like about Norris is that he's honest with his members. I feel like he can be more honest, because the chances of us getting a good translation in any kind of anything close to real time of what he's saying is so low that he can be honest and we don't catch it until like a week later. This time, though, I think everybody's paying a lot of attention to it, and that's why we got it. And we had multiple pretty good translations pretty quickly. Ours is an internal Imperium one that we're using. I know Rich Richmond did one that was on Reddit that Suetonia posted. So I know a lot of people were out there paying attention to this. The war was not the only thing that FRT discussed, and I want to get into that too, because we're still going here with the next stuff. The big news, the other big news that came out of this FRT announcement was they're pissed. They never got included in the TTC, the Tranquility Trading Consortium that includes Goons and Test and Brave and Pandemic Horde, that controls all the high sec markets. They're pissed. They were not invited. And instead of doing what a lot of people thought was going to happen, which is what Snuff tried to do, where Snuff blew up one of their keep stars in low sec, and then they were going to go after the high sec one. And just saying they were going to go after the high sec one was enough to drop profits, according to Villy, by like 20% in a day. Norris has said, well, you know what? You guys are tied up in this war. You never gave me any money, so fuck off. We're making our own. And they've dropped a keep star in Ojoinen and whatever the hell it is, Ojoinen, which is funny because that's where I think that was where the one that snuffed out killed died. Maybe that was Ignoitin. But they drop it in keep star in the Forge in low sec. They're going to set up their own markets. They're calling it the Winterco Chamber of Commerce. The goal is to undercut perimeter and make low sec now the go-to place for selling Plex and skill injectors and other types of things rather than the TTT. This is a big FU to Test. It is a big middle finger to Villy himself personally.
And to Horde. And to
Gobbins and to Horde. Mm-hmm. Because this was their, like Gobbins, Horde controlled the markets until Test muscled in. And then we came up there to mess with both of them. And the whole reason the TTC exists is because to make money in the high sec markets, you can't have any of the big null sec guys out there messing with it. Because if you mess with it, players are going to bolt They're not going to use it, and it loses its value. Now, players that don't like the war, they don't like the Imperium, or they don't like Test or those guys, they don't want to give their money there, they're going to have another option, and they're going to have it in low sec, and it's going to be protected by the third largest group in the game now, and the only group that has gotten away from this war with pretty much no real damage. So I got to say, if you are a fan of Fraternity, they're making all the smart moves right now, and they're doing it with impunity because the bads are too busy trying to lose this war to us to deal with what is obviously the rising superpower in New Eden. Just saying.
Yeah, I think it's extremely, like, it is very, 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 very significant from a, like, next few months of, like, galactic political hijinks perspective that FRT has directly. So basically what happens here is that Villian Gobbins has got to come convince me to assist some sort of a TTT purge of their allies' low sec Keepstar that's competing with the TTT or whatever. Like, there is one possibility. There's been a lot of speculation that tomorrow they will announce like that goons are going to get kicked out of the TTT. I don't think that's going to happen. That has
been a big topic of discussion. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen. But if it does,
dumb, I don't think.
We are going to post them to death, right? Like, you know, basically, it's a situation now where Test is so fucked. The only thing that's really keeping them alive is TTT income. Horde, because basically what happened was, here, let me, since there's been a lot of speculation, I've told this story before, but it is relevant here. And I don't know if I've said this in public or not, but here's how the TTT thing happened. Gobbins and Villy were doing their thing, and they planned to divvy this up between them, and they were going to basically cut in I Choose You, which is taken out of Horde's share. And it was going to be this thing. And Villy comes to me, and he's like, hey, like, me and Gobbins are going to do this. Do you give a shit? And I said, give me 20%. Right? Like, give me 20%. Straight up. I Kool-Aid man my way in there. I just straight up Godfathered it. It was basically like, because I can murder the thing. Because I don't even have to have the thing murdered. You can fucking post it to death, and everybody knows that the Imperium can just have this thing murked in, because you just have to scare the puppies, and nobody is better at scaring puppies than little old me. So you throw a little Matani man bad, you do a little people of perimeter. Like, I have been expecting these dumbass motherfuckers to try to kick us out of the TTT since 13 months ago. We have like 7 different shovel ready plans to screw with that thing. But we're not going to do that because we stick to our deals, unlike Test, who are a bunch of incompetent, traitorous pieces of shit. But no, we're prepared. I don't think it's going to happen, because the moment that they do something like that, it is go time, baby. Like, we don't even have to, you don't have to blow up the TTT to kill the TTT. You just set up a run on the bank. You remove the consumer confidence. You create an environment of regulatory risk. Well, I can do that in a heartbeat. And so they know it. Tess knows it. Elf Boy knows it. And now Norris is moving in on the action, and, you know, good on him.
We can do it without even impacting the war effort one drop, because the Imperium, through Suddenly Seaman, the Initiative, with our Ghost Fleets, we have all of these things designed specifically to go up there and mess around with high sec with alpha accounts that can just reship constantly into low skill point, high damage ships and fuck with this thing all day long. They know it. We know it. They want to kick us out. That's fine. It's like the boss said. You want to do that. First of all, 1, you're telling the whole world you're stabbing us in the back and you're breaking a deal. And 2, you're going to disrupt your own primary funding source. At the end of this war, it's not a good idea. So, hey,
I hope they do.
Go ahead.
I hope
Please
a motherfucker does.
I'm not going to complain. All right. We're going to do 2 things real quick. We're going to do a quick Piercing the Corporate Veil segment. We had a big CCP update today. I want to walk you guys through the highlights of that. Then Frank is going to come here, and then we are going to kick it over to our dear friend Merkel Chen and Clavis and me over at the Rampage Incorporated stream. So stick around. We're going to do Piercing the Corporate Veil very quickly. The one thing that we saw through the debacle, the kerfluffle the incident around the AT announcement was players were adamant they wanted an update from CCP on where the game is going. We had not seen communication from the company. We had not seen any kind of good intel. We had not seen any kind of roadmap for months. And the type of stuff that we would normally see at FanFest, there was no FanFest thanks to COVID. So when it comes down to it, players, we were completely thirsty for information. We wanted to know what was going on. We were mad when we didn't get it. The CSM has been pounding on CCP for better communication for years now. It has been one of my pet projects. And finally today, after 2 weeks since the incident, we finally were able to get an insight into what's happening, what's moving on in the game. They announced their big July update. I'm hoping by the fact that they called it a July update, it means there might be an August one and a September one and more of them down the road. But they finally gave us some communication. So what did they tell us? I have done, because I am your friend and I want to help you, a TLDR of the big announcement here for you guys on the show. The big announcement today, the July update, the main points that I think are critical for everybody to pay attention to. One, they finally announced an end to scarcity in fourth quarter 2021. They're increasing the quantity of all resources across New Eden. They're going to introduce moon goo and gas compression. They're going to do a balance pass for all mining ships. They're going to add additional specialized holds for gas and ice in certain ships. And they're going to be reworking the industrial index to allow greater choice in the distribution of resources. Now, we don't have a lot of details on what that means. They promised that in a future thing, but that is finally, after 18 months, the end of scarcity is in sight. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is actually the outside. It is not a train coming. So that's a good sign. All right. The other things I wanted to highlight that they brought up. Capital anomalies. This was on my list of campaign projects that I wanted to work on. They're going to put some kind of high reward nullsec PvE feature that's designed to get big ships in space. That's good news for people that own those ships. It's better news for the people that like to kill those ships, because they're finally going to be in space for a reason other than skynetting fighters across the gate to create a wood chipper to kill all the bads coming into T5 from T5Z. They talked about structures and SOV attention. They didn't give a lot of details, but they talked potentially about structure module balance, which is a good sign. Then they talked about new player experience stuff. They talked about a skill system update that's going to include updates to the UI, the creation and sharing of skill plans. I cannot tell you how big a deal this is. One of the biggest issues for new players is trying to figure out what skills to train, and allowing Karma Fleet University, Brave Newbies, Karma Fleet itself, other groups to put together newbie training plans and give those out to guys and teach them. Say, this is all you got to do is copy this and train your skills this way, and we'll get you flying the right ships pretty good. That's pretty solid. What else they're going to do, we don't know. They said other things. Other things. There's an air quote for you, Seema. I don't know what those other things are. I don't know if they know what those other things are, but they're going to do it. So that's good. No training skills. There will be no more training skills. No. The point is, they're going to fix the UI. They're going to allow us to create and trade skill plans. I think that's a very good thing. All right. And finally, this was just a sentence at the very end, but they said, we can't wait to see you in person in 2022 to talk about all this stuff. Now, they didn't come right out and say it, but that sounds to me like maybe we're going to see player live events in 2022. Who knows? Maybe there'll even be a fan fest. That would be exciting. So I think it's a great tease. If you guys are interested and you're looking forward to potentially seeing all your friends at an officially sanctioned EVE event next year, I think they just told you it might happen. So that's a good sign. We can only
hope. Yes, yes.
So that's the big update. Whether you like it or not, whether you care about the substance, the fact is CCP finally gave us some communication. They finally gave us a peek behind the curtain. And I mean us, I mean the entire group, because obviously I get these peeks as a CSM member, but you guys don't, and you deserve them. And I want you to see the stuff that we're seeing, because I feel like if you got to see some of the stuff that we were seeing, at least the good stuff that we're seeing, ignore the sausage factory part because that sucks. But the good stuff that they're working on, I think people would be a lot less worried about the future of the game if they could at least just see some of this stuff. And now they're finally being told, all right, this is what's going to happen. Yes, fourth quarter, October. October through December is fourth quarter. So, at the very least, we've got another 2 or 3 months before we start seeing some of these changes. I'm hoping we will see them sooner. All right? That is that. Now, are you guys ready for a war update?
I am absolutely ready for war update and more war. And I can't think of a more credible person than Fountain Frank, but we haven't seen him. Maybe you could find him for us.
Let me go see if I can find that guy, because I know he's around here somewhere. He's been hanging around the house, eating my peanuts all day long. I'm not looking forward to later. So let's get going. Here we go. It's time for a war update.
Hell yeah.
All I have to say is it is about damn time that motor mouth lawyer who won't shut up, like an hour and 4 minutes into the show, he finally shuts up and lets me come do my segment. I've been planning this for a week. George has been writing jokes. He's been writing jokes all week. Finally, it's my turn. It's my turn. And I have the best war update, because you know what? Guess. Matani, guess what I got?
What do you got?
I got their announcement. George went behind the lines,
son.
As the official brave, like, industry director guy. He went out. Listen, I'm not saying George is PAPI Snowden, but you can say he's PAPI Snowden. Let me just say, okay?
What does matter?
But he has got the PAPI announcement tomorrow. So we're going to walk through. We have tonight, for your pleasure, from the home office in Blue Ball, Pennsylvania, the top 10 list, the top 10 things that PAPI is going to announce tomorrow at their town hall. Here we go. All right, it's a major announcement. 1DQ by 2025. Here we go. Number 10.
Oh my fucking God.
PAPI will take the summer off to prepare for the Alliance tournament. Number 9. The Tower of Legends has been renamed Keepy McKeepface when 7-year-old Newcastle kid wins Test SRP fundraiser raffle. I thought that was a pretty good name, right? Keepy McKeepface. It's kind of funny, right? Yeah, there we go.
Holy shit.
Here we go. Number 8. Ron USMC is setting up a New World Guild, announcing it tomorrow. Number 7. Brave still exists. I mean, you have to. I mean, you don't see him in Fleet, right? So you got to at least say, "Hey, Brave, you're still here, right?" So we got it. All right. Coming up next up, number 6. SAPI has successfully taken 1DQ on Singularity. I mean, they have to practice, right? I mean, you can do that. You can go over, do it on the test server.
Oh, you're killing me,
Smalls. It works. All right, so here we go. All right. Number 5. Here we go. Piggles will appear on InfoWars to promise $1 billion battle if he can get a full feed of Munins in USPZ. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Number 4. Recognizing N+1 no longer works, SAPI will pivot to a new strategy, N+2. That's it. That's it. We're going to make it happen. And I mean, N+1 didn't work, right? So N+2. It'll work. It'll be fine. I mean, I can't imagine that it wouldn't be fine.
Oh my
All right, here we go. Next up, number 3. Norhouse has pledged 100% support for the war effort in a letter left behind after Superfleet jumped back to Owasa. I hear he even left like a little bottle of beer with it. It was pretty nice. So they make sure that they saw it. All right, here we go. Number 2. Ford has reduced its SRP time from 2 months to 8 weeks. That's pretty good. I mean, I got to give them credit. You know, they really worked on that hard. No more gobloons. It's only going to take 8 weeks now. It's great.
Holy shit, you just murdered
And finally, the number one thing that they're going to announce tomorrow at the PAPI Town Hall thing, Legacy, whatever the fuck it is. Number 1. 2 words. Another announcement.
Oh, yeah.
And there you have it. The top 10 things that SAPI is going to announce tomorrow at the town hall. I know that you guys are all looking forward to this because I know that I am. But I mean, it's just when it comes down to it, I don't know what else they're going to, if they don't fight tomorrow, we going to clown these bitches hard. Let me just tell you. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to go get Brisk. I think he is drinking his scotch over there, having a good time. And then we're going to get going here in a little bit. So, Matani, talk to these guys while I go find Brisk. And then we're going to jump over and say hi to our dear friends over at Rampage. I'll be right back.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Frank. It's always good to have an actual military expert. And you know what? That I appreciate it. And you know, that list, all of those are perfectly viable from everything that we've seen these fuck sticks do for the last year. It could happen. I mean, I personally, I have to say the most likely scenario is an announcement of an announcement, possibly a meta announcement where all three or four, like these town halls are proliferating. Like we have to track them. Our agents need to be in all of them. And they will probably announce multiple announcements, but hope springs eternal. I will point out that because goons are contained, apparently I thought the Pickle Rick thing had failed because, speaking of Manfred Sidious plans, let us not forget that Pickle Rick and the whole high-sec ganking and let's attack Harmafleet University, and I have in my hand a list of 700 goon swarm alt corps, that whole Pickle Rick ganking Harmafleet University thing. Who came up with that? Who came up with the terrible lame name from like 3 years ago? Is it going to be making a joke about like, what was that fucking nugget sauce or whatever from some dumbass Rick meme? Well, a Pickle Rick fleet went out just while we were on the Meta Show. I saw a ping for a Pickle Rick fleet anywhere but Delve, baby, anywhere but Delve. But Delve hungers, and we will see tomorrow. Imperium guys, Johnny on the spot. We're going to be there from probably 1800 onward. Look for pings. I will see you there. We all await the big announcement. That's it. All right, your mic's off, dude.
I'm going to say it again because we're getting ready to get going. We're waiting for Rampage to get started. As soon as they get started, we're going to go over there. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line. They have hyped up by giving us a week to talk about it and guess and wonder what they're going to say. They have created such high expectations for this thing tomorrow that anything short of a plausible, realistic plan to actually win this war in the next 60 days is going to look like a colossal, massive failure. And I'm telling you this, I don't think they got it in them. I've been wrong before. I will freely admit I have been wrong before. I do not think that they've got it in them. So, as the reason why we are not doing the Meta Show tomorrow is because, one, this announcement, because we expect potentially they might do something. But two, I will be hanging out with Merkel Chen, Inominate, Bad West, Neolithicus, and a bunch of other folks at our first Cleveland Eve meet tomorrow. We're going to be hanging out, and that's why I was not able to do the show. What I want you guys to do, stick around. Don't go anywhere. The night is still young. I hope you have gotten a nice drink in hand. You've had a good, fun show. We've had some fun with you. You enjoyed Frank's segment. Now you're going to get a watch. Merkel Chen, Clavis, and me go out and play Eve and have a good time together. And if you stick around, We are going to be giving away 50 billion ISK worth of skins in the first half hour of the show. We've got a ton of skins lined up. We want you guys to come and watch, hang out with us. Rampage is a great time. We have a great time every night, almost every night. We stream every day but Wednesday, including tonight, and we're going to make it happen. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight on a very special, non-normal day, Friday night edition of the Meta Show. I'm Brisker Ball. I'm joined by the Matani. You guys showed up. You are the best audience in EVE Online on Twitch. We love you guys to death. Stick around. After the credits, we're going to be jumping over to Rampage. See you guys next time.
Damn straight.
You stay classy, Newey.